Greetings. Welcome to the third element of the sweet spot development. This is the whole idea about identifying the underserved need. Basically, this concept is grounded in the idea that if you ever ask any entrepreneur what's one of their secrets to success, they're going to tell you that they look for the underserved, unmet need. That's you're going to be much more competitive if you're able to find things that there's not a lot of other people that are filling that need. So it's, again, naive to think that it's going to be completely unique, but you do want to try to find things that there's a strong demand for and not a lot of people that are providing a solution to that problem. So where to begin? And this is not about going to the want ads and looking for who's hiring, but it's a matter of going through it systemically and finding unmet need that exists out there. First off, spend some time to define the kind of industry or industries where you want to be working, the size. Do you want to possibly be working in the nonprofit sector? How about the government? Do you want to be working in the government sector? Think about the kind of environment that you want to be in. And you may think about a couple different ones, and that's fine. And as you go through the process, you'll winnow that down. But think about the kind of environment. And size is really important too. Large companies, small companies, they're very different. So think about the size of the company where you want to be working. What are your priorities? What are your reward expectations? What does it take to get into that industry or that company? Do you have the kinds of skills, or do you need to go get some more training? And what's the prospects? I mentioned the ONET Online earlier, and that's a really good resource to check and see what are the prospects for certain jobs in certain industries and that sort of thing. So assess your needs. How important is security? Are you risk averse, or are you willing to take some risks? Think about that as you're going through the assessment. And then enter the market. These three steps are exactly what entrepreneurs do when they're deciding on a product or a market to go after. And we want you to have that same kind of approach. So when you choose to enter, that is not, again, sending out your resume to a bunch of companies, but rather going to conferences, networking events, doing informational interviews. So those are kind of the three steps that we'd encourage you to go through in deciding where you want to go, what underserved need do you want to pursue. Now, there's three major approaches that you can go through to find some potential opportunities. One is informational interviewing, one is networking, and one is some non-traditional opportunity development ideas that we want to share with you. So let's start with this idea of an informational interview. We talked about this in an earlier video briefly, but the whole idea is that you reach out to people and ask for a brief period of time to sit down, talk to you, and find out what it takes to be successful in that environment. It's a really good book by Steve Dalton called The 2-Hour Job Search, and he's got it very well laid out in terms of how you can organize your informational interview schedule. And literally, after you've read the book, within 2 hours, you can come up with a list of 40 or 50 potential companies that you can target and go out and do informational interviews with. It's a variety of ways to find them, but that's the bottom line. Is these are not job interviews. These are informational interviews where you're trying to gain information about what are the true underserved needs in the job market. The second way that we want to talk briefly about is this whole idea of networking. That term is used so extensively. A lot of factors involved in networking effectively, but the bottom line is when you go to any kind of a networking event, have an objective, have a goal, do some purposeful networking, and use it as an opportunity to ask questions and to gain information about potential underserved needs. So I thought I'd have a little fun with you and show you this picture and talk through it a little bit. It hits some key points. I use this with my students in class. And pretend that you walk into a room And this is what you see in front of you. You see this elderly gentleman in front, a guy over here on the right handing out business cards. You got 3 people in the back that are busy on their cell phones. You got two guys on the left that are open and look like they're talking, and way in the back there's a bunch of people high-fiving and having a good old time. And the question that I posed to them is, you can only talk to one person or one group. Who do you reach out to? And most of the time they either go to the elderly gentleman or the 2 guys, or even to the folks in the back that are celebrating, but they don't go to the ones that are over there on their cell phones. And so the point is, the people that are on the cell phones, think about it, they're at a networking event and they're bored. And if you go over and walk over and talk to them, you just might be a hero. So it's one of these things that when you go into events, size up the room. If you go try to talk to the folks in the back that are having the party, you might not be part of the same group, so that might be difficult. And the guy on the right, maybe he's selling life insurance. You might not want to talk to him. The elderly gentleman and the 2 business folks that are kind of open are fine to talk to. They're safe. They're receptive. But the real gold in this one is the folks that are on their cell phones. So just something to think about when you go into a networking environment. Now on this slide, I'd like to encourage you to think from a non-traditional kind of perspective and looking for opportunities. Every company out there has a website. There's a tremendous amount of information you can get by going to their websites. And I'm not wanting you to go out and look at the job postings that they've got out there. Look at what their mission statement is. There's a company in the Detroit area called Gleaners, and they're focused on helping people get food. And so they've got supply chain challenges. They've got HR challenges in terms of recruiting people. They've got communication challenges. So if you read their website and you look at what their mission is, what their purpose, what they're trying to accomplish, you might have some good insight into the kinds of needs that they have and how you might want to be able to address some of those underserved needs. Strive Creative is a small marketing firm here in the Detroit area. And they focus on telling stories. And what they do is they work with their clients, and then they craft a story for the client, and they use marketing techniques to tell that story. And if you go to the website, you'll see that they're storytellers and how they present themselves. So those are the kinds of opportunities, and all sorts of websites out there have that information. So I'd encourage you to go to websites and look at what the mission is and the purpose and what the companies are trying to accomplish, and then craft your value proposition and identify the underserved need based on what they need, not the jobs that they're posting out there, but more the mission and the purpose and what the companies are all about and what they're trying to accomplish. So that brings us to the third element in the 3 that make up the sweet spot creation. Hopefully you've gotten some ideas of different ways to find underserved needs. Start by understanding what you want, what you're looking for, the kind of environment that you want to be in, and then nurture and go after and investigate opportunities. It's not about looking at the want ads. That's not where you're getting this information. You're getting it from websites, you're getting it from informational interviews, you're getting it from networking, you're getting it from by making connections with people that have the need, and that's what you want to focus on. So one more time, thank you for participating and watching the video. Next section, we're going to be rolling into the whole process of helping you tell your story, and hope that you're looking forward to it. Good luck.